Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Nazareth Speedway for the 10th race in the NAMAR Mountain Dew Code Red Series Season 3. On the front row, for the third time this season, is Hunter Braxton. This is the first time that he is starting in first place. It's the first time he has won the coin flip. The other two times he's won a heat races, he has lost the coin flip, and he has started second. So Braxton will look to do what no driver has done so far, and that is win from the pole. We have not had someone complete the Grand Slam or have a driver complete the triple. Now, when I talk about a Grand Slam, this is what I mean. I mean the same team between two drivers wins both heats 1 and 2. So far, no team has had a driver from Heat 1 and a driver from Heat 2 sweep the heats. It has not happened yet. So if they were to sweep the heats, they got someone who gets the pole. It doesn't matter who it is. And then one of those two drivers wins the race. That's a Grand Slam. When we talk about the driver triple is heat win, pole, race win. That is a driver triple. So Braxton starts first. On his outside is Audra Baranauskas, who won her first heat race of the season. Row 2, we've got Sky Commons and Joshua Sekuli. Row 3 is Matthew Logan and points leader Dylan Young. Row 4, pair of Joe Gibbs Racing teammates, Enzo Nareza on the inside, Alan Cavanero focused on here on the outside. And in row 5, we've got Jonathan Zorlin and Casey Nanako. So Matthew Logan became the 5th and final junior motorsports driver to win at Richmond. So now every junior motorsports driver with at least one victory. The only driver with 2 victories on the season is RCR driver Dylan Young, who leads the point standings. Let's take you to the point standings really quickly here. Young has a 44-point lead over Matthew Logan. Andrew Rich, 58 back in 3rd. Hunter Braxton is 4th, 78 back. And Eli Bright is 5th, 96 back. 6th place in points, Ryan Brommer. 7th, Sky Commons. 8th, Samet Oskin. 9th, Audra Baranauskas. And falling to 10th after missing the race last week, Dale Lightning. We'll get to the rest of your top 20 in the points in a short second. Here's the command to fire engines. There's the command. We're going to watch the cars fly by here from the pit lane 1 camera. Rest of your top 20, 11th in points, Nico Tringali. 12th, Enzo Nareza. 13th, Quinton Moore. 14th, Bobo Jones. 15th, James Ellison. 16th, Jonathan Zorlin. 17th is RJ Bishop, who missed his first race last week. 18th, Zachary Fitzwater Sr. 19th, Seth Cole. And in 20th is Adam Flickinger. There's the pit lane 2 camera. And with that, we'll go back to our TV2 camera. So, Dale Lightning missing his 3rd race of the season here tonight. And missing his first race of the season is Nico Tringali, I believe. Or was it someone else? Was it Nico Tringali? No, Nico Tringali made the race. Who? Oh, yes, the 22 of Samet Oskin. I knew it was a Ford. Samet Oskin has missed his first race of the season, so he will likely dip in points. 57 laps of green to checkered flag action. We are underway. Braxton with a really good start. Clears the 21, even cleared her so much it allowed the 21 to get in line behind him. So a great start for Braxton and Baranauskas. They started 1st and 2nd. Commons started 3rd. And this is what you'll see all night, is in what I consider turns 4 and 5. The bottom line is the way to go. Nothing beats the bottom in those corners. Turn 1, you can see the outside's kind of got an advantage. Same with turn 2. While turn 3 kind of gives it a little bit back to the bottom, but you can see Nareza struggling to keep his car to the inside of Sekuli. But he'll shove it through, and that'll let him pass the 0-1. Dylan Young will follow through for 6th place. So Nareza in 5th place, but it looks like Dylan Young's got a strong race car. He's trying to pass him in 1 and 2. And wow, look at that. Dylan Young made short work of Enzo Nareza, so it does not appear that Nareza has a strong car. He got passed so easily in 1 and 2. It was like he was standing still. So Young will move up to 5th, Sekuli back into 6th. Matthew Logan, your winner from Richmond, is into 4th place. He's all over the bumper of the 19 of Sky Commons. And Commons has arguably been the best Toyota driver, especially in the words of the 3-car team of Joe Gibbs Racing. Commons sits 7th in the points with 2 top 5s and 4 top 10s. His average finish is at a 14.1. Meanwhile, Enzo Nareza, who finally recracked the top 20 a few weeks ago, sits 12th in the points with just 1 top 10 and an average finish of 16.4. Lastly, Alan Cavanero, who was climbing the points and has fallen back down a wee bit. Cavanero 26th in the points with 1 top 5 and an average finish of 23.7. And Cavanero has made every race this season. In fact, we're getting down there in terms of total drivers who have made every race in the Season 3 NAMAR Mountain Dew Code Red Series season. I'm counting them up right now. I might be a little off. But we have 18 drivers, I believe. 18 drivers coming in had made every race. Now with Oskin missing, that number drops to 17. And Dylan Young sure looks fast. Logan got by Commons for 3rd, but here comes the 2 of Dylan Young and 27.545. Look at these lap times. Dylan Young is clearly the fastest car on the track right now. Not even Braxton, who leads the race, has gotten under a 7. It looks like RJ Bishop is doing pretty good. He's 4th on the fast lap time board. However, he is 13th at the start-finish line. So Bishop, let's fall back to the 42 car. Bishop making his way through, and you can see he's working that inside line. He had the Naco at the start-finish line, but the Naco got that outside line advantage. But we'll see here in this corner, it's all about being on the bottom. So Bishop will clear for 13th. Jesse Turner's looking for 14th. Cole Deaver just before him in 12th. Kevin Nero just outside the top 10 behind Zorlin. How about Zachary Fitzwater Sr. having another good run here tonight? He's running in 9th place all by himself. He's nearly a full 2.5 seconds behind Eli Bright, while Zorlin and others are a 2nd behind him. There's the 88 of Bright. So it looks like this track is an unconventional short track. We're 9 laps in and there's no real sign of tire fall off. But trust me, I looked at the settings, it's there. Nareza running in 7th. Sekuli up to 5th, so Commons will fall to 6th. Dylan Young has made it into 4th. And he's closing in on race leader Hunter Braxton. Meanwhile, Braxton with a comfortable 1 second lead over Audra Baranauskas. No DNFs so far. We'll take a quick step aside and we'll be back with more action from Nazareth. Welcome back to Nazareth Speedway. 16 laps complete. Dylan Young was closing in on Matthew Logan, who had moved up to 2nd, and therefore race leader Hunter Braxton, but Young has stalled out and has inched backwards from the 9. So Braxton continues to hold the race lead through what is now 17 laps of action, and to say the least, the competition speed-wise has been very spread out. We'll go straight from first to last here. 28.37 for Braxton and 28.6 for Slade Jagger, who runs in 40th. We'll go from 40th up through the field. I'm not sure when pit stops are going to occur, but we do know that through 12 laps on 4X, they did not have to pit. So through 24 laps on 2X, they should not have to pit. I don't know if it's going to be a 1 or 2 stop race. I'm going to presume it's a 1 stopper, considering if they can go 12 laps on 4X, they can go 24 laps on 2X, and it's probably a 1 stop race, but we'll find out. So anyway, Lucas Catano, Chris Wheeler, Peter Onjack, Donovan Cage, Quinton Moore, you can see there, he's having a terrible race. He's all the way back here. Same with Seth Cole, Martin Wild. So speaking of Seth Cole came in 19th in points. Well, he might lose that. He's like I said, he's running terribly. 34th on the result sheet right now, or in the running order, I should say, his current tense. Martin Wild, the worst driver in points, who's made every race. And I forgot to mention that Brian Tremblay, teammate to Wyatt Anderson, has also missed his first race of the season tonight. So we are down now from 18 to 16 drivers who have started every main event. You can see Anderson looking to take 31st away from Zoe Fernandez. Edwin Mendez running at the back of the field. Here's Corey Riggs, Jackson King, Benny Watson, 27th. Johnny Gardner, terrible run for this team so far in comparison to what they've been accomplishing. He's 26th. Ryan Brommer's 25th. Protomar Otts. Jonathan Zorlin has fallen outside the top 20. There's Daniel Boyles. Nico Tringali is 21st. He's the first car outside the top 20. Inside the top 20, we've got Adam Flickinger in 20th. Bobo Jones 19th. Marty Johnson having another decent run. He's in 18th place. Now, I believe Johnson got his first top 20 last week. He did move up to 43rd in points, but still no top 10 for the 23 car, who's making his 7th start tonight. James Ellison, 17th on the board. Andrew Rich, only 16th, kind of shocking. It looked like he had a pretty fast car in his heat race. RJ Bishop has stalled out. He's running 15th. Colt Hudson, 14th. Cole Deaver will pass Jesse Turner for 12th, right before the start-finish line. And sitting in 11th, just outside the top 10, is Casey Nanako. However, he's a decent distance away from Alan Cavagnaro, who's in 10th. Fitzwater sits 9th. You can see there's some decent splits in this field. Eli Bright 8th, Sky Common 7th, Enzo Nareza in 6th. Almost another full 2 seconds up to Joshua Sekuli, who's in 5th. Baran Oskus runs in 4th. As Dylan Young in 3rd and Matthew Logan in 2nd are trying to track down race leader Hunter Braxton. As you can see, the lap times down about a second from their bests. You can see, looking at the fastest lap times, Dylan Young has that to himself right now. We'll see if anyone's able to put down a 5 or faster after they make their first pit stops of the night. But Braxton's looking to be the first driver to complete the triple. As mentioned at the beginning of the show, a triple is where you win the heat race, you win the coin flip and get the pole, and then you go on to win the main event itself. That would be a triple. Braxton would be the first to accomplish that if he does it tonight. He's got to win this race though. He won his heat race, he won the coin flip for the pole. All that's left to do is to win. Now, what I mentioned that I feel like is very unlikely, but I feel like could also happen maybe once this season, is a Grand Slam. Now, what a Grand Slam would be is a team who has 2 or more drivers, because each team's got at least 1 driver in 1 heat. It was split that way on purpose. You have one of your drivers win Heat 1, and another of your drivers win Heat 2. So for example, because I'm going to use the team I think has the biggest shot because they've got 2 drivers in one heat and 3 in the other. And that's Junior Motorsports. They've got Rich, Braxton, and Bright in Heat 1 with Lightning and Logan in Heat 2. So let's say for the example, Hunter Braxton wins Heat 1, Matthew Logan wins Heat 2. One of those guys is going to win the coin flip. So you're 3/4 of the way there. One of those 2 drivers has to win the race in order for it to be a grand slam. If another driver from the team wins the race, so say Braxton, Logan win the heats, Bright, Rich, or Lightning wins the main. Now that would be a sweep. That would be a sweep at that. But a grand slam sweep combo would be one of the 2 heat winners winning the main event. So I guess I'm calling it a grand slammer or a grand sweep. We'll call it a grand sweep. So a grand sweep, one guy wins Heat 1 for your team, the other guy wins Heat 2 for your team. One of them automatically wins the coin flip. Doesn't matter who it is. But then whoever wins the coin flip must win the race. So that's a grand sweep. And now coming in here on lap 31, Young was trying to pass Logan for second. Braxton will stay out. But Logan, Young, Baranoskis, and Sekuli, the rest of the top 5, will come down pit road. So we'll see what this means for Braxton because this pit road is narrow. And he will have to deal with a ton of traffic, especially considering he's catching the back of the pack coming into pit stops. This could cost Braxton the lead. And a lot of time, you can see right here, he caught Chris Wheeler, and yep, there it is. Look at all that time he just lost. Oh wow, Quentin Moore making contact. Enzo Nereza's in behind him. It looks like these are the main 2 who stayed out. But Braxton's going to lose a ton of time from this. Oh, and Jesse Turner comes out and slams into Cole Deaver. Sekuli going to cut right in front of Deaver. Braxton into his stall. Alan Cavagnaro and Casey Nanako had stayed out with them as well. You can just see there's chaos right here. They're 3 wide. 3 wide turn, 2 wide right there. That looked dangerous. And there's Matthew Logan. Matthew Logan has passed. Did I see Dylan Young coming out of pit road? No, he's on the track. But look, Matthew Logan and Dylan Young pit without traffic, and they cleared Hunter Braxton by a huge margin. So this track, clearly pitting right behind all the lap cars, was not the way to go because it has given Matthew Logan a 2.1 second lead over Dylan Young, and it cost Braxton 6 full seconds. He's down 4.8 behind the race leader. Now he will have the fresher tires, but that's a lot of time to gain. That's not time lost by fresher tires. That's time lost by bad strategy call. And it didn't hurt Nereza as much because Nereza was so far back. He came into pit road and he didn't lose anything. He's still 6.8 seconds behind the leader, and he's running in 7th. So Baranoskis, Young, and Logan gain on this because Braxton has lost so much time. They're also in the midst of lapping cars. Quentin Moore running in 40th. Tough break for that team. Or 39th actually. Chris Wheeler just got passed. But you can see cars are starting to fall a lap down. Now this could benefit Logan depending if Young and Baranoskis get put to the outside in 4 and 5 by a lap car. But at the same time, it will help Young and Baranoskis if this occurs to Matthew Logan. It's unlikely for it to be any of these cars back here. It would have to be someone like Mendez or Seth Cole, who we know has the car to get the horsepower down. So Dylan Young still with the fastest time. Looks like Sorlin jumped into the 27.6s. So for the time being, it looks like Matthew Logan could not only be the second driver to win 2 races on the season, he could be the first to do it going back to back. Future schedule for this series. Next race is the tricky triangle of Pocono. So for the first time since Nashville, we will be on a track longer than a mile. At that, it's a 2.5 mile track in the form of Pocono. So that should be an interesting race. We'll see if we actually get pit stops in our heats again. We have not had any pit stops since Nashville. After Pocono, we head to Dover, followed by Trenton, which is a bit of a weird track. Trenton is essentially an oval, but it's not, because on the backstretch, instead of going straight, you've got this flat right-hand turn, so that'll be an interesting track to go to. And then we'll be in the state of Massachusetts for 3 straight races in the form of Coca-Cola Super Speedway, which will be pretty insane, just like Talladega was. Papyrus, which is the fastest road course on the schedule, and Cape Cod. So that is the upcoming 6 races. And the road courses are going to be coming into full swing here soon. If you thought short track fever was crazy, wait until you get to the road course fever. That's all I got for the upcoming races. Matthew Logan has a 2.86 second lead over Dylan Young. 3rd place, Audra Baranauskas. 4th, Hunter Braxton. 5th, Eli Bright. Rest of your top 10, Sky Commons, Enzo Nareza, Zachary Fitzwater Sr., Jesse Turner, and Cole Deaver. We'll be back in a few minutes for the conclusion of the race. We're back here at Nazareth. We've got 10.5 laps left to go. Matthew Logan will be hitting the start-finish line this time by. That'll give us officially 10 to go in the race. The lead over Dylan Young continues to grow. However, Hunter Braxton has begun closing in on teammate Matthew Logan. That time by, though, he did not gain anything as he's trying to pass lap-down car Martin Wild. Braxton cleared Baranauskas shortly after we went to break. So Braxton trying to get some of his points back. That's 3 points from 4th to 3rd. If he can get to Young, that'll be another 4 points. Now this would be good for Braxton because him and Logan are trying to close in on Young on the regular season championship lead, because you do get an extra 5 playoff points if you get the regular season championship. So far, Dylan Young has the lead over Logan. Logan's going to win this race. He's going to gain 6 or 7 points, depending if he leads the most laps, at this current moment if Young finishes 2nd. However, if Braxton passes Young, Young is going to lose 4 points, and Logan will gain 10 or 11 points, and that'll push it down to 34 or 33 points. It will also allow Braxton to close in more on Young, because right now Braxton's not closing in on Young. Andrew Rich has had a bad night. He's running in 20th, so Rich is going to lose a ton of ground. He really needs to start working through the field. Not sure what's been wrong with that one car tonight. 7 to go, unless something crazy happens. Matthew Logan's got this race in the bag. Baranauskas 4th, Bright 5th, Commons, Nareza, Fitzwater, Deaver, and Turner is your top 10. Sikuli, Nanako, Pavagnaro, Hudson, Sorlin, Bishop, Tringali, Ellison, Jones, and Rich. That's the top 20. Let's see if that changes at all when they hit the start-finish line. Does not appear to be. Nope. No retirees here tonight. Braxton will peek to the inside of Dylan Young. He tried to block him, but it didn't work out. At the line, Braxton will have second place. As we mentioned, this is big for Braxton. Even if he doesn't win this race, this is big for him and teammate Matthew Logan in catching Chevrolet RCR rival Dylan Young, who currently leads the standings. Young is looking for what would be his 6th top 5 and 9th top 10 of the season, but he's got to hold off Baranowskis and possibly Bright and Commons if he's to get the top 5, that is. I mean, top 10 looks pretty locked. I mean, Cole Deaver is a full 4 seconds behind Fitzwater. But as we come to the start-finish line, it'll be 3 laps to go for Matthew Logan. Inherited the lead due to Braxton's poor pit strategy by his team. Told him come in 1 lap later. Got stuck behind all the lap traffic coming in. Lost like 7 seconds. So now Logan, who inherited the lead, has that 4-second lead. And taking 2 to go, I don't think Logan thought he would win his 2nd race this quickly. Probably not the fastest car, but definitely one of the fastest cars. Leading all these laps too. Yeah, he's not going to get the most laps led because Braxton stayed out and led 31 to 57. So white flag waves for Logan. It currently appears he will gain 10 points over Dylan Young in the standings. That'll shrink Young's standings lead to 34. And that will certainly maybe put a little more pressure. It is still early for the regular season, so Young's got time to worry about that later. But coming to the checkered flag, Matthew Logan's the first to go back-to-back. He wins his 2nd race of the season here at Nazareth. Man, Hunter Braxton gained a lot of time because Logan was trying to pass Wyatt Anderson. Hunter Braxton's going to come home 2nd, Dylan Young in 3rd, Audra Baranowskis in 4th, Eli Bright 5th, Sky Commons, Enzo Nareza, Zachary Fitzwater Sr., what a top 10 run for him, Cole Deaver and Jesse Turner. That'll round out your top 10 for tonight. And with that said, guys, I will see you at Pocono. Hope you enjoyed tonight's event here at Nazareth.